All right, man, and we are live, man. Welcome back, you guys, to another episode of the Winners Diet Show. I am your host, Max Solomon, aka Project Mac. Happy Friday to everybody out there watching, tuning in. We appreciate you guys always for the love and support. Man, today's gonna be a great show, man. We had a great show on Wednesday night, so shout out to everybody that was in there, that were full participants in that. We had a great show on Wednesday night. Um, a lot of dialogue and a lot of gems being dropped, but also um, just being able to get out my thoughts and my perspective on certain things when it comes to health and fitness, and then you guys being able to participate in that has just been a blessing. So, I mean, overall, man, we appreciate you guys for always just supporting so far, and just rocking with me, man. We're growing on TikTok. We're trying to grow on Instagram. It's still a little bit slower grind, but YouTube, our subs are going up slowly but surely. So I couldn't be happier with everything going on. I think the next step is just just converting those people that are watching, engaging into, part of our community, part of our clientele, and just part of our overall message and movement. So the winner's diet message, man, it ain't going nowhere. It's here to stay. It's everything that I'm applying to my life on a day-to-day basis, and I hope that you guys can apply to your life as well. So this is not something that we're just saying to do. We're actually applying it to our own life every single day, and we're working hard at it. We already showed you guys that, hey, in 90 days you can see results if you just stay consistent. And I've been doing this live stream stuff for more than 90 days. Actually, it's probably been about a little over 100 days. Never miss a day, consistent posting, going live about 2 times a week. We started at 1 time a week, and then we moved it up to 2 times a week, and pretty soon we'll be at 3 times a week. So yeah, man, it's just about not just being able to talk the talk, but also walk the walk as well. There's a lot of guys out here that are just saying things and not being able to show receipts. You're seeing receipts in real time, of me putting in the work and putting in the time, of the grind and never stopping. So on top of being a fitness trainer, a business owner, and now I guess live streamer, right? I can say that, yeah, I'm putting in the work consistently. It just takes 90 days to see results, and I proved that. But now it's time to take it to a new level, and we hope that you guys can help us with that. So, um, but shout out to you guys, man, and shout out to you guys for just being down, um, being supportive. It doesn't go unnoticed. So we appreciate you guys either way. But besides that, man, we got a great show today. Great show today. Um, Today we're talking about how your discipline should make other people uncomfortable. So we will be breaking that down towards the end of the show. So make sure you guys stick around for that. But before that, man, we also have our other two segments. The first segment, the Fit Report, we are reporting live on fitness news, fitness media, winner's diet types of content. And then, excuse me, the second segment is What the Fitness, where we are reporting on viral trendy videos regarding to health and fitness, viral trendy videos regarding to health and wellness, and just winner's diet, um, philosophy, brand. So we'll be doing that. And then obviously we have the main event towards the end, which would be the topic of the day. Your discipline should make other people uncomfortable. So we will be breaking that down towards the end. So make sure y'all stick around. But before we start, man, make sure y'all hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, comment down below any support, anything you want to see next, and we'll get right into it, man. All right. But before I do that, I got to take my swig of water. You know. All right, man. But I'm hoping y'all are having a great Friday so far. A productive Friday at that. All right. So the first article we have here it is from no other than Fox News. Okay. So this one says, let me close this up. Hold on, y'all. Jesus. All right. Trick your brain. One second here. Let me make sure my okay, perfect. Trick your brain into staying motivated with one simple psychology hack. Okay. So, dreading a task at the end of a long week, there may be a way to trick your brain into seeing that chore as a reward. Dopamine anchoring is the latest psychology hack making the rounds on social media. The technique involves associating a desirable thing, like music or snacks, with a less pleasant task or movement so that over time your brain begins to crave the task itself, according to Joshua Stein, MD, a child and adolescent psychiatrist at Prairie Care in Minnesota. From a neuroscience perspective, the strategy works through the brain's dopamine pathway. Dopamine is a neurotransmitter in the brain associated with feelings of pleasure. When we expect a reward, dopamine levels rise before we get the reward, which helps boost motivation, Stein told Fox News Digital. By repeatedly pairing something enjoyable with an activity like cleaning, writing, or even exercising, it's possible to train the brain to release dopamine in advance, which associates pleasure with that behavior. There is a strong scientific support for this from both behavioral psychology and neuroscience, said Stein, noting that pairing stimuli and rewards can influence behavior, even potentially helping with addiction. This anchoring technique can also be helpful for those who have conditions like ADHD or depression, in which the dopamine system can become out of whack or dysregulated. Stein noted that some people may struggle with a condition called anhedonia, which means that they have issues with experiencing pleasure, starting a task, or keeping their attention focused. By strategically anchoring pleasant stimuli to challenging tasks, individuals can essentially prime the brain to better tolerate or even enjoy those activities, according to the doctor. Overall, it's about working with your brain chemistry, not against it. Okay, so for all you guys out there that need motivation, you can try this dopamine anchoring um, technique that will help you not procrastinate. But my thing is, man, I feel like this is something that humans have always been into, because we've always, whether we have whatever task is in front of us, right? Whether that be chores, whether that be, big projects, whether that be, just work that needs to be done. Um, there's always been a motivational factor that has been attached to that, right? Look at the reason why men build things. The reason why men build things is so that we can get access to women. That is a motivational, factor. So you can either have external factors or internal factors. The reason why men build shit is because they want to have external factors, which is getting women, getting access to certain things, right? Or the reason why we do certain tasks, is to feel better about ourselves. These are internal, motivation factors. So just being able to know that you got something done that was of difficulty, knowing that you have the confidence to do things that are hard, right? um there's always been motivational factors within, chores or things that we don't want to do typically. So um, I mean, you can apply this to anything, really. I definitely think that people that are trying to get in great shape should apply, external or internal factors, or extrinsic or intrinsic motivation, right? Which is either physical or mental or validation type of motivation. But it can work in either way. There isn't really a right or wrong way when it comes to motivational, factors or byproducts, right? It just depends on what you value the most. Some people value the external factor, right? The validation or the what comes with it, right? But some people value the intrinsic. So it just depends on what you like, but I do think those are very important. Very rarely do you find somebody that will do something without any type of motivation behind it, right? I just think us as humans, as human nature is very selfish. So we never really just do things for the hell of doing it, right? There's always going to be some type of motivational factor behind it, whether it be intrinsic or extrinsic. So this doesn't surprise me. So all right, let's move on to the next article here. Make sure y'all hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. All right, so this study says new study reveals two McDonald's adult meals and two Happy Meals cost Americans an average of $62.95 on delivery apps, double the average amount spent in restaurant. A new study by fintech company Self Unwrapped shows just how costly McDonald's has become, especially when ordered through delivery apps. Researchers priced the same four-item order, a Big Mac combo, quarter pounder, deluxe meal, six-piece McNuggets, Happy Meal, and a hamburger Happy Meal across the 100 largest U.S. cities. The average in restaurant cost was $36.95, up 24% since 2023. But when ordered through apps like DoorDash, Uber Eats, or Grubhub, the average bill jumped to 62.36, reflecting a 7.8% increase over 2 years. Added delivery fees, service fees, taxes, and tips made app-based orders nearly 70% pricier than eating at McDonald's directly. Among the apps, DoorDash was the most expensive, 63.21 plus 71%, or I guess up 71%, followed by Uber Eats 62.60 up 69%, and Grubhub 61.26 up 66%. While the markup gap between restaurants and delivery apps narrowed since 2023, customers are still paying a hefty premium for convenience. The report stressed that pickup remains the cheapest option, and those relying on apps should seek discount codes to often rising costs. Researchers also warned that smaller restaurants often face higher markups, meaning the price tag or the price gap could be greater outside large chains like McDonald's. Um, yeah, man. Who in their right mind is door dashing McDonald's? Out of like seriously, like out of all the things you could DoorDash, right? You DoorDash McDonald's. Who is doing that? Why are you doing that? Like I got so many questions, but it doesn't surprise me, man. It doesn't surprise me. Most people that have things going on, whether you make a lot of money, whether you're very busy, there are people that will pay for convenience. And that's because they have things going on, right? They have the financial means to pay for convenience. Um, Not so much in this case. No. In this case, you have people that are paying for convenience that don't have anything going on. Because I'll tell you one thing right now, people that are high performers, people that have a busy schedule, people that are very active in, getting their goals achieved and things of that nature, they're not eating McDonald's. They're not eating fast food very rarely, right? At least ones that are really in a different type of mindset. You're not putting fast food in your body. If you're going to DoorDash anything, It's going to be sweet greens. It's going to be tender greens. It's going to be, kava. It's going to be some type of, healthy rice bowl, chicken bowl, whatever, right? It's going to be tokaya. Like they're not going to order McDonald's. They're not door dashing McDonald's. So the people that are paying for this, even though it's more expensive to DoorDash rather than go, get your big ass up, get in your car or get on the bus and go to McDonald's. They'd rather just pay because they don't want to leave the house. They don't want to get up. It's too strenuous. It takes too much energy. And that's not shocking because they probably don't have any energy because you would have more energy if you didn't eat McDonald's. But this is what is the standard for these type of people, right? They're going to kill themselves to death because it's easier. Not knowing that ordering McDonald's is just making you lazier and lazier, right? Having the ability to DoorDash whatever you want, any fast food you want, is just making you lazier and lazier. It's not really doing anything of substance for you. But this is what we have here, man. And it's only going to get worse, right? You've seen that it's up more than 50% as far as the pricing on DoorDash is up more than 50% since 2023. It's only going to get higher. And this is just two meals, right? What did it say? Hold on, let me bring this back up again. It said that two McDonald's adult meals and two Happy Meals cost Americans an average of $62.95 on delivery apps. That's crazy, bro. That's really crazy. That means each, like, man, but they'll pay because it's convenient, right? This is the problem, man. And then they're gonna complain that, oh, fast food costs too much money. I don't want to hear about fast food costing too much money when you're the direct reason why it's costing too much money. It's insane, man. It's insane. The mindset of certain people is just crazy to me. You know, I guarantee you it would have been a lot cheaper if you just got your big ass up and went somewhere else. But the thing with people that are lazy, that have a certain fixed mindset on life, is they're always going to complain and they're never going to have solutions for anything. Their main gripe in life is just to always complain about shit. Never solve a problem, never fix a problem, just complain, 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 complain. It's much easier to complain than actually find a solution, right? So, I mean, I'm not surprised, man, and but then their main argument is, oh, healthy food is just too expensive. But you're going to spend about $65 on four meals from McDonald's. That $60 from a grocery store could have lasted you a couple days. But nah, it's too expensive though. It's too expensive. You know. Hey, y'all do what y'all want to do, man. Y'all can look how you want to look, but in the end, man, it's things are not going to change for you. Things are not going to change for you. The world is going to move on, and that's just going to be what it is. So I have no words for those type of people. They can criticize me all they want about how, healthy food is expensive and you don't know what you're talking about. Like, I haven't lived in these low income areas, still found a way to eat healthy. But, you know, the main the default setting for these type of people is to complain, point the finger, and insult. So you can't win in that situation. All right, let's move on to the next one. Hope you guys are enjoying the show so far. Make sure y'all hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. All right, so we have an article here. It says that U.S. birth rates drop for seventh year straight. Study says women need 3 kids each to keep humanity alive. Wow, okay. A new global study has revealed that the world's population could face a dangerous decline unless women average at least 2.7 children each. Experts say the commonly known replacement rate of 2.1 is no longer enough due to modern issues like poor sperm quality, financial struggles, and aging societies. Many developed nations, including Japan, South Korea, Italy, and China, are already seeing shrinking populations. In the US, birth rates have now dropped for the seventh year in a row, raising alarms about the future of the workforce and generational balance. Researchers warn this trend could reshape economies, cause labor shortages, and spark major cultural shifts. More people are delaying or avoiding parenthood, making family life less common and less sustainable. Um, this is already happening. They said researchers warn this trend could reshape economies, cause labor shortages, and spark major cultural shifts. That's already happening. That hasn't changed. I mean, that is happening right now. Look at the job market right now. Like I have never seen so many people looking for work in my life. And I know we had the 2008 crisis. I know we had um another situation prior to that, but this is the I've never seen this many people unemployed or just looking for work or just so many damn layoffs. The economy right now is in shambles. Look what just happened in I think DC, where all those budget cuts and jobs that got cut. And the next thing you know, you've seen just a bunch of houses on the market. So we're already here. We're already here. That isn't going nowhere. Um, Cultural shifts, people's this has definitely shaped people's mindsets when it comes to how they look at dating, how they look at, just the future of what they want to move forward with, right? So now it's to a point where, the person I'm with, regardless regardless if it's a man or woman, they have to have the same amount as me or more for this to work. You know, you're seeing this mainly from the women's side, but you're also now seeing it from the man's side, where in the past we never really looked. I mean, yeah, they were our, the woman that we decided to be with, they had supplemental income, right? But it wasn't the main factor that kept the household together. Like that was just something that was extra, right? Okay, that's a grocery bill, that's a whatever water bill, whatever, right? But it was never relied too much on the sole income of the household. Now, with the way the economy is, now we're looking at both people to contribute financially. And it's causing a rift in not only dating, but also in the job market. You know what I mean? So we're already here, man. And I expect birth rates to decline even more as years go by. Because I'm seeing I should have pulled up the stat, but now I'm seeing more people get married in their 30s, right? Mid 30s, early to mid 30s, right? You're seeing more of that now than ever before. And that's for good reason. Mainly for a financial thing, because weddings are very expensive, on top of just the thought of bringing in a child into this world now is even more expensive than it used to be. You know, I saw a stat um, from, I think it was out here in the Bay Area. It was saying that a family, if you're living in San Francisco and you have a household of two people, right? So man and woman, or I guess in San Francisco, man and man, or woman and woman, either or. But if you have a household of two people, um, and both of y'all bring in, let's say, $120 a year, that's considered low income in San Francisco. That's where we are now, right? Or I think 100,000. If it's like 105,000, if both of y'all are bringing in 105,000, that's considered low income for San Francisco, because you got to factor in, taxes. So we have one of the highest tax rates in the country, for the federal and the state level. State level is at damn near 14%. So off 100,000, 10,000 is already 14,000 is already gone. And now you have the federal taxes. And on top of that, you have cost of living. And on top of that, you have, lifestyle. You got cars. You got food, groceries. If you guys want to travel and go on vacation, so on paper, it looks crazy when it says that if you guys bring in 200 grand a year as a couple, that's considered low income. But when you really break it down and break down the numbers, it kind of makes sense. It really does make sense, because rent alone is going to be about $4,000. If you're doing a 2-bedroom, a 1-bedroom is going to be about 3,500. So it makes a lot of sense. That's already 36 grand a year, and 9 times out of 10, both of y'all going to be paying half of that. So it will be a 50-50 relationship. So, and we know how those turn out 9 times out of 10. So it's just, I'm not surprised that the birth rates are dropping, man. Look where we are right now in society. Look where we are right now, just how we're just getting by and surviving, man. It's tough to live right now for everybody, even the ones that are making money. So it's, we've never seen this before. And I don't know when things will start to make a shift. Maybe in the next, I don't know, maybe we got to wait for the next election. But until then, this is where we are, man. And it's not going to change. The only thing you can do, the only solution is to make more money. That's the only solution. Make more money, man. That's all I can say. Or you can always leave the country if that's the case. But we already know how there's a lot of jobs that are requiring you now to go back to work in the office. And I'm seeing that now with a lot of my clients that live in San Francisco, is now they're going back into the office. So what once was a remote job where they can just work from home, and you still have some here and there, but most of these jobs, they're making you come back. They're making you go back in the office at least 2-3 days a week. So the thought of you moving out the country and working remote, those days are long over, my friend. So we got to figure it out, man. All right, man. I think we got one more article, I believe. If not, then we can move on to the Wtfitness. Yeah, I think that's it, actually. Yeah, that's it. Okay. Let's move on to Wtfitness. Before we get into it, make sure y'all hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. We going in right now. All right. So this guy says, let me refresh this real quick. This guy says, the gym is not your entire life, bro. I learned the hard way. Oh, shit. Hold on. Didn't mean for that to happen. One second. Stay with me. StreamYard be tripping sometimes. All right, here we go. Let's see what we got here.
So much shit, whether it's going out and having fun, drinking, creating these life.
Let me refresh this.
20s and you go to the gym or you work out, for the love of God, do not skip this video because I'm about to save your life. I missed out on so much shit, whether it's going out and having fun, drinking, creating these lifelong memories that I know one day I'd be at a fucking campfire with my best friend and we're telling our kids all these memories and they would look at us like they're crazy because I always thought like a bodybuilder. I said no to so many events, to so many just times where I knew I would create these memories and have fun because I wanted to be so super strict with my diet. My whole entire life was about the gym. Like, you do not have to be like this. I'm literally in the best shape of my life I have ever been right now, and I'm going out more than ever. Everything is about balance. If you can lock in Monday through Friday, or just go to the gym 2 to 5 days a week, because really less is more. Just be on your diet, do your cardio, do your workouts throughout the weekdays. You can go out and have fun on the weekends. You can go out and drink. You can go eat at a restaurant with your wife or your girlfriend, and you can do these things and create these memories without being so fucking strict on yourself. I'm only telling you guys and being so passionate about it because I missed out on so much shit. Like for the first 3 to 4 years of me lifting, I said no to like 80 to 90% of things because I always thought this way. And on top of that, when you do go out, you're going to feel a lot more confident about yourself. You're actually going to like the person in the mirror. You're actually going to feel good and have high energy and make these memories 20 times better. You know how good it feels to go out and everyone's complimenting you about your physique, asking if you play fucking rugby and all this other weird sports you never heard about? You feel a lot better about yourself. So learn how to have that balance, lock in throughout the weekdays, and then still go out, travel, and enjoy life on the weekends. That's how life should be. If you're
Um, I agree somewhat of what he said. I'll tell you why. He's right, as in, don't make the gym your entire life. Um, you know, you should still, even though the gym should just be an extension of your lifestyle, right? You have to take care of your normal routine. You got to go to work, got to pay your bills, got to handle your responsibilities. Um, and then you hit the gym, right? But what I disagree with him is him saying that, you know, you can you can still enjoy life and get in shape. I'm 50-50 on that, right? It depends on the level you want to get to, right? So even though because I hate the word, I hate how he says balance. I really don't like that word, but I get what he's saying, right? He's saying you can go to the gym Monday through Friday, and then the weekends enjoy yourself. You can enjoy yourself. However, you still have to be mindful on how you enjoy yourself, right? Because mainly you can destroy an entire week's of progress in just 2 days. That's all it takes. It just takes 2 days, Friday, Saturday, Saturday, Sunday, right? Or Friday, Sunday, to destroy a whole week's worth of progress that you put in the work, right? So if you're training Monday through Friday, hard, hitting your cardio, hitting your protein goals, tracking your calories, just being consistent. But then Saturday night comes around, Sunday fun day, you eating this, you eating that, you drinking this, you drinking that. You can destroy your whole week just in those 2 days. So when people say have balance, yes, have balance, right? Still enjoy yourself, but you still got to be mindful of what you're putting in your body. Just because you worked out 5 days a week, you don't deserve to eat everything in sight. Sure, you can have something a little bit higher in calories, you can have this, but you still have to be disciplined and still have to be mindful of what you're putting in your body to a certain degree, right? So it's not always about balance. Sometimes it's just about prioritizing. Sometimes it's just about being mindful. I hate the word balance because you cannot get you can't get results being balanced in any area in life, right? Work life balance, you know, things of that nature. It has to be prioritized. You have to be mindful of what you're putting in your body, right? Just mindful overall. So when I hear things like, this guy saying you got to be balanced, enjoy life, he's half right? You can still enjoy yourself. You can still go out. But when you go out, hey, you might not be able to down 6 shots. You might not be able to have 6 beers at the bar, you know? You still may not want to eat late at night just because you're out and about, So these are things that you have to really be mindful of, because some people will hear this and then they will kind of take it and run with it, and they're not they're not knowing that you can just destroy your whole week just off of 2 days, just off of trying to be balanced. So it's very dangerous rhetoric. Uh, but I'm not saying it can't be done, but at the same time, we're speaking in general here for the average person, and the average person cannot have a balanced life and still get positive results. All right. Let's move on to the next article here, or next video here, rather. All right. So this video kind of touches on what I said last week when we talked about how you can separate yourself from the competition. All you got to do is just do the opposite, right? So this dude right here, young dude, appears to be in a Lamborghini drop top. It looks like he's in Miami. I'm assuming, right? And he says, POV, you realize how low the competition is. So let's check it out.
Look at how many people are over here, y'all. Look at this. Look at it. Look how many people. Show them how many people are at the club. This is y'all's competition. Your family is in generational debt, and you're going out to a club, waiting in line to chase women to get drunk.
Yeah, man. He says, if you think it's hard to get rich, this is for you. You know, he's definitely right, man. And look, sometimes I kind of, I don't want to say it's corny, but it is kind of corny. Like when dudes be trying to, flex in the Lamborghini or the big car, about success. Because a lot of times what happens is they prove that they prove that this is not the lifestyle that they actually live, right? So you got to be very careful with people that do this type of content, that make this type of lifestyle content, because a lot of times they're not living the lifestyle that they're portraying online. But that's neither here nor there. I understand the message, and I understand where he's getting at. I'm pretty sure it's in good faith, because I don't understand how it can be, whether the Lamborghini is rented or not is it's really irrelevant in that sense. But in this context, he's absolutely right, man. Your competition, right, is getting ready to go out tonight and get drunk off their ass and chase 100 girls, get rejected, and do the same thing the next night and the next night. So this is the majority of their weekends. This is how they spend their weekends. And you wonder why they're fat, they're broke, they're depressed, they have no purpose in life. This is their lifestyle. This is what they look forward to every single weekend, right? The weekends to them are just another escape, right? They're escaping their real life. They hate their job, they hate their life. Monday through Friday, they're out a soul sucking job. They got to listen to a fat ass boss tell them what to do, right? So the weekend is just another form of escapism. But in the end, man, they're playing a never winning game, because Monday is always going to come and you're going to go right back to the same shit that you hate. So if you don't make a change, well, it's going to be a repeating cycle. The same thing with your body, right? If you continue to, run to the bar, run to the restaurants, and not take care of yourself, use food as escapism, use video games, gambling, and just destroy your body as escapism, well, you're playing a never winning game. You're going to have to look at your body every single day in the mirror. That isn't going nowhere. Every single time you eat that dessert, every single time you overconsume calories, every single time you drink yourself to death, you're going to have to look in the mirror every single time you go to the bathroom. It's going to be there. The answer is going to be there, right? The problem is going to be there looking at you in the face every single time. So there's no escaping that. But they rather run from it than actually face it. This is the reality of most people. So when I tell you guys to, man, look, it's never been easier to be in the 5 percentile of men physically. All you got to do is do the opposite of what these motherfuckers are doing. That's it. That's all you got to do. Just do the opposite of what everybody else is doing. If you see guys that go to the bar, go to the fast food joints every single weekend, go and chase women that don't want them, just do the opposite. Because this is what their life is going to be looking like for the rest of their life until they change. So you can spend your weekends doing this, or you can spend your weekends in the gym on a Saturday night because no one's going to be in there. 9 times out of 10, it's going to be an empty gym because everybody's just getting shit faced and plastered, right? You can be tracking your calories, prioritizing your protein, drinking your water instead of drinking alcohol, and going to bed on time, getting adequate sleep, doing your cardio. And you do this for a consistent period of time. Over time, the results are going to speak for itself. You know? So it's never been easier to get in the 5% of men physically, right? Just do the opposite. Everybody else has given up. Everybody else doesn't want to put no work in. Everybody else is scared to make a leap of faith or take that risk or start something that they're not comfortable with, because it's very uncomfortable doing things that you're not used to. We always talk about this, right? So it's crazy, man. It's really crazy how just most people, the answer is right there in front of them. The solution is right there in front of them. All you got to do is be consistent. That's it. Be consistent and do the opposite of what everybody else is doing. There's a reason why the 1% is the 1%. They don't follow the 99% because the 99% is just lost sheep. They're trying to figure out life. They're trying to figure it out, right? They want to be told what to do. They want to be guided and directed. The 1%, they're the ones making the rules. They're the ones leading. They're the ones with the voices, the power. That's the side I want to be on, not only just physically, but financially. I want to be in that percentile range. But in order to get there, there's things that you got to do that most people don't want to do. So it's really up to you, man. If you want to get there, well, there's ways to get there. If you don't want to get there, well, just continue to be at the bar every weekend. Continue to chase women every weekend. Continue to get, left on red on dating sites. Go ahead. But the ones that want to put the work in are going to be really locked in. They're going to be consistent. Even when they're not seeing results, they're still going to be consistent. And they're going to continue to do what they're willing to do to get there. So, all right, let's read some super chats real quick. Pessimistic Arsenal fan says, consistency is everything. Not always tuning in, bro, but see your shorts a lot. Keep it up. The algorithm will bless you soon enough. Man, shout out to you, bro. I appreciate you, man. I appreciate all the support from everybody that, is tuning in and just, showing love, man. It really means a lot to me. Because I know how much work I put in on the back end with this. I know how consistent I've been. And even though, things aren't taking off, I'm not, I don't have 1 million subscribers or even 10,000 or even 1,000, just little comments like this, it kind of just what's the word I'm looking for? It kind of just validates what I'm doing, and it keeps me motivated. It keeps me going, because this can be a very strenuous process because, you're putting in work and you don't know if it's going to work or not. You don't know if things are going to take off or not. So, man, I appreciate everybody that's really tuned in, that's hit the like button for me, that's subscribed, that's really just showing love, man. It's, it just lets me know that I'm what I'm doing is the right thing. So I appreciate it, man. All right, let's go. We got one more article here. Where are we at with it? Got one more video. Where is it at? Is this it? Okay, this is it. Let me refresh this up. All right, this guy says Gen Z ruined the gym. Do you guys believe that Gen Z ruined the gym? Let's take a look at what this guy says.
Every gym I walk into, thanks to Gen Z, it's a circus now. They've made steroid use look like creatine, whole TikToks and YouTube videos dedicated to it. Then they turn gyms into filming studios, tripods, ring lights, even filming strangers without their permission. Are we lifting or running a Netflix production? And the outfits? Half of them look like they're headed to the Vegas Strip at midnight, not a squat rack at noon. And don't forget the machines, sitting on the phone for 10 minutes texting while people are patiently waiting. You're not training, you're texting. Remember when people used to just train at the gym? Like, what happened? Comment below, let me know.
Yes, he said Gen Z. So do y'all believe that Gen Z ruined gym culture? I don't believe so. I don't think it's them. I think they're just a byproduct of what gym culture has turned into. So I don't think they ruined it. I believe that we're now in an era of social media monetization, and they've just adapted to what's going on. You can't blame them. So I don't blame Gen Z. I blame the ones that kind of started this whole mess. It wasn't them, right? Because he's the one talking about Gen Z, but bro, you're still making content. So whoever is the one that continues to make content around fitness, and it wasn't Gen Z, they didn't start that. Because I was in the gym way before Gen Z was making content. So it wasn't them. This was 10 years ago. Right? I was making fitness content, in the gym in 2015. So it definitely wasn't Gen Z. It was our generation. It was the millennials. We started that. It was late millennials and old millennials. We were the ones of gym culture. We started seeing fitness content in early 2015, right? That was when the Instagram video feature came out around 2014, 2015-ish, right? So we weren't the ones that started that. I mean, they weren't the ones that started that. They just inherited that. We messed up gym culture. It was the millennials. Yes, it wasn't Gen Z that ruined fitness culture. It was millennials, old and new millennials. So we don't have any right to sit here and blame Gen Z. We're the ones that messed it up. It's us to blame. So I'm not gonna sit here and agree that Gen Z is the culprit now, man. We are responsible for that. We're the ones that really were on social media heavy when it first came out. It wasn't Gen X. They were kind of just they were whatever about it, right? Gen X, they weren't really on social media like that for real. They had to look at us, get on it first, then they follow suit. Then the boomers followed suit. But most of it came when it comes to technology and social media, that's all millennials. That's all millennials. Gen Z, they don't even know what a world was before social media. But we do. But we kind of took social media, ran with it, and we made it what it was. And now you see the extensions of that from the videos in the gym, the tripods, girls wearing the crazy ass outfits, right? The revealing clothing, right? Or scantily clad, as they say. So they're not to blame. You can blame us. So let's not do that. Let's not point that game, man. Know your history. All right. Oh man, we are at the 50-minute mark. So we got here, man. We appreciate you guys for tapping in. Okay, man. So today we're at the topic of the day, the main event. Shout out to everybody that's tuned in. So today, man, we're talking about why your discipline needs to make people feel uncomfortable. And I say that because when you're disciplined, true discipline, right? True discipline shines light on other people's bad habits and their excuses. So If your habits are not making others uncomfortable, then you're not doing it right. And this is a big part of our winner's diet philosophy, right? Your habits, what you do every single day. This can either be influential or it can be destructive. So when I talk about habits, if you are not, if others around you are not uncomfortable, if they're not questioning why you keep, tracking your calories, why you keep measuring out your protein, why you keep working out at 5 a.m., you're not doing it right. You're not doing it right. Because what that means to me is you are adjusting to what's around you rather than having people to adjust to you. And that's the spot that you want to be in. You don't want to adjust to anybody. You want to be the outlier. Because how can you be in the top 5, 10% of men physically if you are doing what everybody else is doing? Do you want to have do you want to be overweight like a majority of people in this country? Or do you want to be the outlier? Do you want to be the one that gets stares and gets compliments and has people coming up to you out and about because of your great physique? Because you show that you have discipline. You show that you have delayed gratification. You show that you can be somewhat trustworthy because you take yourself serious. This all happens when you are disciplined and you stick to that, right? So the reason why discipline bothers people, and I've talked about this before, the reason why it bothers people is because it exposes their bad habits, it exposes their lack of action, and it exposes their excuses, right? Your habits show them, your habits point out their bad excuses, right? Choosing water over alcohol at parties or the club or wherever you are at the bar, that's going to make people uncomfortable. Why isn't he partaking in drinking his poison with us? Right? Why isn't he trying to escape with us? We all have problems. Why isn't he trying to escape? It looks like you have everything under control. I'm not trying to get blacked out drunk. That's your thing. That's what you do because you're trying to escape from something. Right? I don't have that issue. I have things to look forward to in the morning. I have weights in the morning. I have a gym session. I have a gym session in the morning, right? I get to run a mile tomorrow. Like I have things I enjoy doing. You don't. That's why you're here at the bar trying to fucking black out. That's the reason why they don't like people that have discipline. It points out their bad choices, it points out their bad excuses, and it points out their bad habits, right? And on top of that, it kind of ruins the social norm, right? How we talked about the alcohol issue, right? When people are at the bar. So now they're looking at you like you got three heads because you don't want to participate in getting blackout drunk. You don't want to participate in getting dragged out the bar because you can't drive, right? Or you can't stand up. Guys, I used to be a bouncer. I used to kick people out the bar all the time because they used to they used to throw up at the bar, or they used to get so drunk where they couldn't even stand up, they couldn't speak, right? They were harassing people. You don't want to, it's just not a good look. From the outside looking in, you see how crazy that shit looks, right? So it kind of just breaks the social norm, man, and it makes people just feel like, damn, like here he is or here she is. She's not, yeah, she might be drinking, but she's not trying to get drunk, right? She's had that same drink for the last 2-3 hours. I'm on drink number 5. Damn, do I have a problem? Like it kind of breaks the social norm, right? Because society, they embrace being weak. They embrace being uncontrollable, right? They embrace being undisciplined. But your strength in having discipline, your strength in having standards, it rejects all that. So now there's no place for it, right? And then on top of that, your discipline will hit a nerve with people. And you'll see that when they start making jokes about you. They start making jokes about you weighing out your food. They start making jokes about, what you're eating. They start asking you, if all that protein is healthy, if all that working out is healthy. This is what they do when they see that your discipline is hitting a nerve, right? They try to tempt you back into bad habits. Oh, come on, man. You don't need to eat all that. Come eat this pizza. Come out with us to the restaurant. Come out with us to get chicken wings and fried chicken. Like they're going to try to bring you back into old habits that you've already graduated from. And then you get called obsessed. You get called boring. You get called a drill sergeant. Just all name calling that is trying to make them feel better for having poor choices in life. So if you're not, but this is a good thing, and I want you guys to understand that this is a good thing, because being disciplined is going to set you apart from being average. And if you're watching this channel, if you're in this live stream, well, this is all we preach here. Don't be like everybody else, right? Don't be like everybody else. Push past your limits. Go past what is normalized. Be consistent. This is all the winner's diet philosophies, right? And on top of that, why this is a good thing is because now your respect is going to grow over time. Because what happens usually is they laugh at you now, but then once you get in shape, once they see the results happen, now they're going to come ask you for advice. Now they're going to ask you, oh, how'd you get in shape? Oh, what do you eat? What's your workout routine? How much protein do you eat a day? Right? Just asking you all the questions, because now they're seeing the results in real time. This is why this is a good thing. Not to mention, you create influence. You create leadership. People look up to you. People notice you more. They're going to start asking your opinion on things. They're going to start asking your input on things. So it's always the best position to be in. There's really never anything bad besides, people might talk about you and make fun of you. So if you're sensitive, it might strike a nerve, but at the same time, who gives a fuck? Because 9 times out of 10, you're probably not going to hang out with them anyway long term. You might find a new set of friends that are going to be on the same wavelength as you are. So if the goal is to be separated from everybody, right? If the goal is to stand on your own and be in a different, I guess, in a different world, or be viewed differently, then your discipline has to be so strong that it makes other people uncomfortable. But just understand what that comes with, right? You might not have a lot of friends at the moment. You might be doing things alone a lot of times, So in your head is going to be mentally stressful because of the social dynamic changes, right? But that only lasts temporarily. If you're thinking long term, the benefits outweigh everything that is happening in that moment. So just put that in perspective, right? So just understand, man, I'm gonna leave y'all with this, is like, if you're a part of the winner's diet philosophy, meaning you apply this to every part of your life, right? And if you don't know the winner's diet philosophy, it's what you eat, it's what you listen to, who you hang around, and your habits. If you apply this to every aspect in your life, you're not going to adjust to the room. The room is going to adjust to you because you're going to be the outlier. You're going to be the one that took that risk. You're going to be the one that sacrificed, and now the results are going to show. And sometimes that makes people uncomfortable, but raising the bar usually does that, because now people have to compete, people have to take action, and everyone isn't built for that. So that's all that is for today, man. We appreciate you guys for tapping in. Great show today. I know it was kind of pretty straightforward. Didn't have too many viewers in today, but that's okay, man. The message is gonna get out either way. And we're gonna clip this up and send it out how we need to. But yeah, man, we'll be back on Wednesday night. Shout out to you guys. Make sure y'all hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. And we will be back next week. You guys enjoy the rest of y'all weekend. I'm Project Mac, aka Mac Solomon. I'm out this thing.